Walt Disney World, ladies and gentlemen, it released tickets this week, reservations for tickets to be exact. For the first time in their phased reopening process, Walt Disney World has released the reservation window. They call it Disney Park Pass reservation system. It went live for the first time, and we understand that for anybody that had a resort stay, they had the opportunity to reserve a park day with their tickets, and then a little bit later on in the week, annual pass holders had that opportunity. Let's first check in with Katrina. How did things go on your end? You were involved a little bit, it sounds like. What'd you experience? It sounds a little bumpy.
It was, okay, like, it was a little roller coaster. But at first, I didn't even bother in the morning because everybody was, like, jumping on, trying to figure out if it was going to be at, like, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm not going to wake up at 4 in the morning to get upset. So I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to relax. And then our friend tried making reservations for her family. She was having issues. So then I decided to go on around like 10 o'clock Pacific. And then I had my laptop open. I had my phone open. I had like another screen open. And it took me like a good, I don't know, like 30 minutes maybe waiting and seeing that little gorgeous castle kind of hanging out, saying hey. I had trouble like logging in at first. That was a big issue with people with logging in. Then after like waiting 20 minutes to log in, I was able to wait in another like 30-minute queue to actually like try to get into the reservation system. After getting in the reservation system, I couldn't click on anything. So I had to close the browser or copy paste it into another browser. And then I went back into the queue, of course. And so then I waited another 30 minutes. So that was really hard. And then finally, when it popped up, I was able to start choosing days. And then it was kind of a bummer because you have to choose individual days and select the little fine print and then reserve it, do it again over and over and over again. But at least I was able to book 7 days, and I was able to get our friends along with us on the same reservation because we're staying at the same because their passes are linked with us. So I was able to get them times, and then I was able to get us times. And I tried we don't know what parks we're gonna visit, so I just kind of guessed. I was like, you know what, we're just gonna do these. Okay, let's get. And then I was only able to do 7 days, even though our resort stays for 8. So now we have to kind of like do that.
Well, the other interesting thing too is that we got our hotels on hotels.com, and we signed up the day that was supposed to be for resort guests, and we were able to. We don't have the account linked yet, and we somehow were able to make these reservations.
Oh, whoa!
So and then
I thought that was the criteria.
I know you're gonna like read something from CBS, but it's one of those things where they're going out and saying that there were no glitches, but that clearly something was wrong.
Yeah, a lot of people struggled, as was becoming the vocal nature online of everybody's sort of reaction and experiences. I should say a good deal of people were being very vocal online when it came to not being able to access the platform. I will say, from my perspective as somebody who's worked with the company for a number of years, especially in leadership and having to work in the capacity where I needed to constantly reach out to Disney IT, even internally asking for help. IT notoriously, and I don't mean to besmirch anybody's jobs, I'm sure everybody works hard. The IT setup within the Disney organization is really bad. And it comes down to just nothing ever working the way that it's supposed to the first time you need it to. And you have to constantly call and ask for help and barrage people with communication to get anything to work right. Even when it is a guest impact, even when it is affecting thousands of people, it's like it takes an act of God to make something move. I once had to threaten getting the president of the resort involved to change something that was very real and pressing and an issue for thousands, and I was told that it wasn't going to be elevated any further until I threw that at them and said, well, the president of the resort's pretty concerned. Maybe we should get him on the phone. And then it suddenly changed the dynamic of the conversation. At any rate,
got friends in high places.
Not there anymore. In a statement to CBS News, Disney stated that the theme park reservation had no such glitching errors, stating that guests were simply trying to book before it was their turn.
I guess I was part of the problem. Sorry. I ruined it for everyone.
How about that?
It's my fault. It was our fault. We did it.
You did this. It's your fault.
It's my fault.
Way to go, Disney.
Thank you, Disney,
Thanks
for telling me that things are my fault.
Maybe had you
10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time was too early to get online to start booking my reservations.
Well, I'll
obviously.
tell you, their official wording, the Disney spokesperson told CBS Money Watch the reservation system had no such glitch. Disney had made the system available Monday 1st for people with a previous Disney World reservation, resort reservation, I should say, the spokesperson said, and the system will be available for annual pass holders on Friday, and we're going to check in with Garrett, who I know was attempting to make some reservations on that end and knew some folks that were, and for the general public on Sunday. People who couldn't reserve Monday probably thought, this is what the spokesperson said, people who couldn't reserve Monday probably thought it was a glitch, but in reality, they were likely trying to book before it was their turn. Their direct quote. So yes, stop being so stupid and eager, because that's your fault. Garrett, let's turn to you for the annual pass holder perspective on this. What did you experience? What went on?
I apparently don't have an annual pass anymore, so that was pretty fun. I'm one that I'm not going to get upset over something that's really out of my control. So I thought, know what? It's like 11 a.m. out here in Nebraska, so it's noon out there. So maybe the early rush has gotten by. So I go on. It's like, oh, select your day. I'm like, perfect. I'm going to select sometime in August, just because hopefully I'll be back in Orlando by August. I click in, and then it's like buy tickets. I'm like, that's weird. Okay, click that. Nothing happened. I then try on my laptop, and I go to select a date, and it's like, you do not have any passes or tickets with this account. I'm like, that's really weird. So then I go, and there's no annual pass. There's nothing there, and my annual pass is good until October because I keep doing the monthly payments, and so it looks like I didn't exist. I then go onto the app. Nothing there. It has every old ticket that I have, but it didn't work for me. And so I'm just thinking, okay, there's something really bad going on, because I've had an annual pass for over 5 years. I've been good with my payments. So I just thought, know what? I'm not going to worry about it, because it's my Disney experience has never been like perfect. It's always had some ups and downs to it. It's very confusing. And for me, I was getting confused with this. So I worry for the people that have never dealt with this before, because if I'm getting confused, and I consider myself a veteran, I worry about others. And we said that a few weeks ago when this topic came up. But
we look forward to seeing what happens with this park pass system moving forward, especially with all of the reservations that are no doubt going to be put into effect. We understand that so many days have already been gobbled up right off the bat within the month of July, both from people that had reservations in hotel rooms, and then also from folks that are annual pass holders. If you've experienced any sort of delays, or if you've experienced a really good side of the park pass reservation system that we just aren't seeing, go ahead and leave that in our comment section. Let us know, because I think we're all curious to see how this, if it gets better, or if it's in our minds and we're the problem, like the statement said. We'd be really interested to hear what you experienced yourself. All right.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.